Yaffee program on WVNN.
I just have to say real quick, first off, I am going to get into the details on the latest in the war in Iran because we have to discuss that. As Trump said, the latest proposal by Iran is totally unacceptable. But in the last hour, Dale Jackson, so you want to check out the podcast of his show, interviewed State Rep Wadalyn Gavan. And it just astounds me how the Democrat Party, they don't know what to do unless they're playing the race card. They constantly say, well, they're a victim. And she said that she believes her colleagues are racist and that she is a victim of racism. She might be a victim, but not of racism. She's a victim of Republican politics. What I mean by that is she's a Democrat. You're a victim of being a Democrat in a Republican-dominated state. That's nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with party label. Now, you can say that's not fair, but don't call it racism. Now, in my Alabama bullet points, I'll have some details because there is a state lawmaker who is black who is speaking out against those calling him names because he's a Republican. Is he a victim? No, he's a Republican. So he's getting his way in a dominant Republican state. That's the reality. And the fact is, you can constantly just go everywhere and scream racist. You can't do it in the courts anymore. Sorry. And it's just frustrating. You are listening to the Yaffee program. This is the show where you can count on the latest news, the important guests, and the best analysis, all for your morning commute. Here on Newstalk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. Coming up on the show, like I said, I'll give you the latest in Iran. Bombs away. I know I've been saying that for like 2 weeks now, but I would really like to just get back to bombing them. Actually, there was an idea that I heard that I like, so I'll kind of repeat that for you. Well, the Alabama bullet points as well, the top stories from around the state. Alabama politics, speaking of the redistricting stuff that was signed by Governor Kay Ivey, we'll speak about that with Todd Stacy, who is with Alabama Daily News and Alabama Public Television's Capital Journal. And then after that, the Sunday News Show's recap. That's right, I recap the highlights from those Sunday News talk shows. I do it on Monday, so you don't have to worry about it on Sunday. You get the day off. If you're a news junkie like me, you want to know what's going on, but you just don't want to on a Sunday morning, don't you worry about it. I take care of it for you the next day. You're welcome. And obviously, Iran was the big topic, but also redistricting was the big topic. So we'll discuss both of those things. I grabbed clips from Republicans, Democrats, everything else. We'll do what's trending later. I always end the show with the Yaffee program rewind, and we always take your text messages at 866-494-9866, 866-494-WVNN. By the way, if you did not come to the Independent Theater Saturday night over at Low Mill to see the movie Talk Radio, you missed out because you actually get to see, at least a lot of people got to see what I really look like. And once again, I always tell people come up to me and they're like, you don't look like I thought. And I can never tell if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But I did give some hugs away. But some people, I think they were pleasantly surprised because, you hear Dale, he just calls me fat or whatever name. So people just assume that's true. And then they see me, they're like, oh, you're not. And so I guess they're pleasantly surprised. If I have time later on, maybe I'll do my review of the movie Talk Radio because that was the first time I had seen it. There is some truth to that movie when it comes to doing talk radio, like behind the scenes. But there's also some truth. That's not how talk radio works anymore. Put it that way. This is not how it works anymore. But if you were able to come out and meet us, we're going to do another event in the future. It should be a lot of fun. If you want to weigh in on the text line, the Yaffee text line, 866-494-9866, you can. All right, so the latest in the war in Iran, we know that last week, the Trump administration sent Iran a memorandum of understanding, a 14-point proposal to make a deal to end the conflict. Well, Iran responded, and Trump said no. Now, there are some out there who believe that the reason why we have not kept up offensive operations again against Iran is because we want to wait till after Trump's meeting with China, with Xi Jinping. That part of this meeting is to get them on board to maybe get Iran to capitulate so we don't have to do any more real offensive operations in Iran. We'll have to see. That meeting is coming up this week, Trump's visit to China. Now, Trump posted this on Truth Social. He did this yesterday. He said, "I've just read the response from Iran's so-called representatives." He said, "I don't like it. Totally unacceptable." And that was basically it. He said, "Thank you for your attention to this matter." Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, they say as well, after Trump posted that on Truth Social, they say Iran dismissed President Trump's apparent rejection of its proposal to end the war. The latest comment in stalled efforts to get both sides back to the negotiating table. Now, Iran said its reply to the U.S. proposal to end the war was generous and responsible, and it was a counteroffer focused on lifting the blockade on the Strait of Hormuz. It also said decisions on its nuclear program would be left until the time is right. Whatever that means, okay. Now, for Iran's rulers, one complication is the absence of their supreme leader. He has been out of the public eye since he was injured in the attack that killed his father early in the war. Previous supreme leaders have had final say on important national security matters. The Iranian president said he met with the supreme leader, and there have been statements released, but he's obviously in hiding, is kind of the point here. So, one idea that I heard, I think it was General Jack Keno. I played cuts of him before, retired general, Fox News contributor. He said what we really need to do, because Iran's just playing games, they continue to play games here. He said what we really need to do, you have the United States, the U.S. Navy, the military, Space Force, whatever. You have them focus on keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. Through force, get the Strait of Hormuz open. And then he said, look, Israel, they want to carry out offensive operations against Iran. So outside of opening the Strait of Hormuz, you just allow Israel to finish the job in Iran itself. Because I know we're worried about too much U.S. involvement, forever war. We're also worried about depleting our ammunition, our stockpiles, everything else. To me, the way to do that then, you have the United States, and really our allies should be helping us. It's kind of a shame they're not. But you have the United States focus on opening the strait. And if Iran doesn't want to make a deal, you just have Israel start bombing the inside of Iran again. Have their special forces get the job done when it comes to taking out the uranium. Have their, I guess, the Mossad or intelligence assets in Iran do the job. I think that's the way to do it. If you're worried about the U.S. doing too much, we could just focus on opening the strait, all of our attention on that, and let Israel do the other stuff. Because we're in a joint operation with them. At least we were. I don't know if that's going to happen. But to me, that seemed like a pretty good idea. Maybe you disagree. You can tell me on the text line. Now, President Trump did speak about this as well during an interview yesterday. He was on with Cheryl Atkinson. They talked about a lot of things, but they did talk about Iran as well. So go ahead, if you can, play Trump cut 1 for me.
Well, they're militarily defeated. In their own minds, maybe they don't know that, but I think they do because I deal with them. And we cannot ever let Iran have a nuclear weapon. But they are militarily defeated. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They have no anti-aircraft weaponry. They have no radar. They have no leaders. Their leaders are gone. The first set, the A team is gone, the B team is gone, and part of the C team is gone. But I think we're dealing with people that have a certain power. It's very interesting because, they make a deal and then they break it. Then they make a deal, they break it. It's a difficult group. But from a military standpoint, I mean, if we left today It would take them 20 years to rebuild.
All right, I hope he's right. I know there was that leaked intelligence report as well that it said Iran could probably, if we kept up operations again, Iran could probably survive 3 more months. Which, yeah, is longer, but 3 months isn't that long if you're talking about taking out an evil terrorist regime, I just have to say. Go ahead and play Trump Cut 2 for me.
We've not yet gotten the nuclear materials, the enriched uranium from them.
Well, we'll get that at some point, whatever we want. We have it surveilled. I did a thing called Space Force, and they are watching that if somebody walked in, they can tell you his name, his address, the number of his badge. No, we have that very well surveilled. If anybody got near the place, we will know about it, and we'll blow them up.
Sounds good to me. Oh, that's in poor taste, Yaffee. No, defeating a terrorist regime is the right thing to do. Go and play Trump Cut 3.
Is it accurate to say you think the combat operations are over and done? But
No, I didn't say that. I said they are defeated, but that doesn't mean they're done. We could go in for 2 more weeks and do every single target. We have certain targets that we wanted to, and we've done probably 70% of them. But we have other targets that we could conceivably hit. But even if we didn't do that, that would just be final touches. But even if we didn't do that, it would take them many years to rebuild.
Just let Israel hit them. We focus on Operation Freedom. Like I said, we're in Project Pause right now instead of Project Freedom to open up the strait. We're still in the pause, but bring back Project Freedom, focus military assets from the U.S. on opening the strait, and let Israel bomb those other targets. What do you think? Tell me what you think about that idea. I think it's a good idea. We have our Yaffee text line, 866-494-9866, 866-494-WVNN. It's brought to you by Regenesis Stem Cell Center. And you can find out more about them at regenesisstemcell.com. Been telling you about them for years, and I know many of you, you've gone there, you've gotten the treatment, and you're like, wow, the pain is gone. It has changed my life. I know it's changed many of your lives as well. They offer a comprehensive range of stem cell therapies for knee pain, arthritis, back pain, and various other types of pain or injuries. They only use the most effective stem cells for healing and regeneration, your live stem cells and precision-guided injections. Make an appointment today. Give them a call, 256-715-8193, or go to the website, regenesisstemcell.com. It's regenesisstemcell.com. When you do, let them know Yaffee sent you. Got the Alabama bullet points coming up next. Todd Stacy at the bottom of the hour. We'll be back in a moment on the Yaffee program.
It's the Yaffee program on WVNN.
The Hammer Alley Podcast, an 80s flashback mockumentary.
Back in the 80s, there were 1,000 bands trying to make it in the world of rock, but there was one band that had it all, Hammer Alley.
Whatever happened to Hammer Alley?
How did they go from top of the rock?
I'm looking for a music video. They're a band from 1987, Hammer Alley. Ever heard of them?
To rock bottom.
Dude, I was born in 1987.
Oh.
I can't believe he's doing this.
Hammer Alley.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Hey, I'm Chris Van Vliet. Go behind the scenes and beyond the headlines with the biggest names in pro wrestling and beyond.
Sandy Zapp, if I give you a decade, who do you think's the MVP?
80s, Hogan, not even close. 90s, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Absolutely.
2000s, John Cena.
You filmed The Brain in 2004. Yeah. Isn't the story that role was going to be for Steve Austin? For Steve Austin. Yep. What is one man's trash is another man's trophy.
Mindset, motivation, insight with Chris Van Vliet. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.